The anime starts with Kenshin fighting against a group of men. Being an extremely skilled swordsman, he is able to kill many of them in less than a minute. The leader of the group wants to go and kill Kenshin, but Saito, the leader of the third unit, asks him to step back. Saito notices that Kenshin is ill and unable to fight. Afterward, Saito prepares to kill Kenshin as the leader of the third unit, but Kenshin gives him a look filled with evil and anger and kills him. While wandering around a village in Tokyo, Kenshin encounters a girl named Kaoru, who recognizes him and intends to put an end to his series of killings. Kenshin, however, informs her that he is just a rurouni, a wandering swordsman who doesn't stay in a specific village for long, or a wanderer on a journey without a destination. He had recently arrived in this town and had no idea about the series of killings associated with him. Kaoru tells him that carrying a sword is forbidden, even for a swordsman, and she tries to strike him with her wooden sword. Kenshin easily dodges her attacks, surprising her with how easily she knocked him down. She realizes that he is not the Batosai the rumors speak of, but rather an immensely powerful swordsman who doesn't want anyone to know about his strength. Suddenly, they hear an alarm sound, and Kaoru rushes to see a huge man attacking the police officers. It becomes apparent that he is an extremely strong individual who might be the feared Batosai. Kaoru charges at him and strikes him with her wooden sword, but he manages to injure her hand and tries to strike her with all his might. However, Kenshin intervenes, taking her away from him and escaping, as he is indeed a reckless person. When they hear the soldiers' alarm in their pursuit to kill him, Kenshin informs them that he is Himura Batosai from Kamayakashin Ryu, then leaves them behind to escape their clutches and avoid getting killed. Kenshin carries his friend Kaoru to a safe place, as the pursuit may last for a long time. This powerful man had previously claimed to be a swordsman who used a specific sword style. Kaoru informs Kenshin that this style is their own fighting style, and he is using their name to commit numerous killings at road intersections. She wants Kenshin to leave her behind so she can go after him and kill him. However, Kenshin wants to leave before the police arrive to investigate the matter, so they won't be caught if they are apprehended. They go to Kaoru's house, where she demonstrates the Kamayakashin Ryu style to him. This style was originally small, but they had around 10 students who worked together diligently. However, those students left a couple of months ago, frightened by the title of Batosai, as no one in the town wants to get close to the dojo. Even during the Meiji era, people still fear Batosai, as he instills great fear in their hearts. Kaoru doesn't know why he claims to be from Kamayakashin Ryu, but she is determined to end his brutality as soon as possible. Kenshin realizes that her words are true, but he asks her not to wander around at night anymore because he is much stronger than her. Kaoru gets annoyed by his statement, but acknowledging that others are stronger than her is something that doesn't bother her. It's what makes someone a strong swordsman. Kaoru continues to think about his words and tells him that this style is the one her father created during the Meiji era after they survived the disturbances of the Bakumatsu period. Her father dedicated his life to this style, even after receiving a message to join the war as part of the city police's swordsmen. He left their world and went to a distant one. After that, Batosai appeared and caused over 10 injuries and casualties. At that time, her honorable father's name was tarnished, as he had tried hard to spread peace and tranquility in their city. She informs Kenshin that he is just a rurouni who can't understand the frustration she feels. Kenshin feels sadness and sorrow, but he doesn't care about it. Then, Kaoru gets injured in her arm, making it impossible for her to go on her nightly patrols until it heals. She has to stay safe in her house. Kenshin tells her that she made a mistake when she referred to rurouni as failures in life. Kaoru feels remorse for what she did. After a few days, Kaoru and the old man stroll through the city and see a large gathering around the police who have captured Kenshin. Kaoru is surprised and asks the officer what he did. He tells her that Kenshin is opposing the decree that forbids carrying a sword. Kaoru continues to argue with the officer. Then Kaoru interrupts, saying there's no need for anger, and they will resolve the issue calmly. She hands some money to the police officer, who goes away, stating that they will let him go because of their respect for the old man. However, he warns Kenshin that he won't escape next time. Kenshin asks Kaoru about the case of the roadside killer. She tells him that she has evidence about the culprit. There is another dojo in the neighboring town, which has become a den for gamblers and gangs. It seems that a samurai swordsman took over the dojo about 2 months ago. It's said that this person is huge, around 2 meters tall. It's suspicious because the roadside killings began about 2 months ago, committed by a skilled swordsman, and individuals of such size are not common. Keiji interrupts them and asks for permission to leave. Kenshin asks him about his relation to that man. Keiji answers that he is more like a servant who lives with him. It happened right after his father's death, when he found him lying on the street in front of the dojo. Keiji took care of him until he regained his health. He worries a lot about Keiji and advises her to sell the dojo and live in peace. Keiji has never asked about his past because there are many things he doesn't want others to know. Kaoru thanks Kenshin for helping her and says she doesn't care about such trivial matters. Kenshin leaves her and goes to that place at night. He asks about the leader, and Nishiwaki tells him that he is not here. Kenshin arrived without knowing who the leader was. Kenshin tells him that he believed his name was Batusai, the killer of roadside intersections. It seems that Kaoru was right about this place. Those individuals appear and ask who this boy is. Nishiwaki asks them to take care of him and kill him. After that, Kenshin returns to Kaoru and talks to her about the land and the building. She tells him that she previously told him she didn't want to close the dojo, but now she has arranged all the paperwork, and all they need is his seal to make the land and building theirs. Then, that huge person appears again, claiming to be Hiroma, Keiji's little brother. Hiroma tells Keiji that his motto is if you're going to do something, do it legitimately. However, now that he has discovered his little brother's identity, he will kill him. Hiroma admits to playing the role of a kind old man to gain Kenshin's trust, as he planned. He calls Kaoru naive in several matters but stubborn when it comes to swordsmanship. He requested his brother to cause chaos with the roadside killings to tarnish the name of her sword style. Also, using the name Hitokiri benefited them greatly, despite being a legendary killer whose existence was dubious from the start. They reached this stage in 2 months. The value of the land will multiply by 5 or 6 times, thanks to the westernization policy. It doesn't suit the presence of a swordsmanship dojo here. Hiroma talks to her, saying her mission is a life-giving sword. Why doesn't she try to save her life first? Then, he attacks her, stating that a small girl's sword won't be useful against him. He found her for violence and killing, as it's the essence of true swordsmanship. Then, Kenshin intervenes, taking Kaoru's silence as her agreement, and they have obtained the land and the building. They hear a voice outside, and Kenshin appears. He tells Kaoru that he has been late and heard the story from them. Then, the giant killer, Hiroshi, appears and tells Kenshin that he talks about life-giving swords just like this girl does. Kenshin responds that swords are weapons of swordsmanship and killing, no matter how much they try to soften it or build an ideal around it. Kaoru interrupts and says that it's a sweet and naive lie that can only be told by those who have never stained their hands with blood. But she wishes that her lie would become the truth of this world. Hiroshi tells his brother that he doesn't mind killing this man, and Kenshin confirms it. Hiroshi orders his men to fight Kenshin, but Kenshin advises them not to increase the number of casualties recklessly. If they don't want to visit a doctor, they should remain silent and retreat. The thieves attack him, claiming that he will be the one to die. Kenshin swiftly defeats them with his sword, eliminating them in the blink of an eye. This astonishes the old man and everyone present, witnessing Kenshin's incredible strength and speed in battle. Kenshin continues to fight, defeating them all in an instant. He then tells them that his sword excels in one-on-one confrontations against multiple opponents, and this deadly sword has an incredibly fast speed. Kaoru is amazed and says it's impossible, but Kenshin is the Hitokiri, and suddenly, the giant man pushes her to the ground. He tells Kenshin that he finds it enjoyable and admits that he didn't expect Kenshin to possess such strength. Kenshin responds that he also thought of defeating him back then. The giant man tries to strike Kenshin with his sword, but Kenshin disappears like lightning. Suddenly, he attacks from above and defeats him with a single strike, delivering a severe defeat. Then, he approaches the old man, telling him that he was the mastermind behind it all and won't easily escape. Out of fear, The old man urinates on himself. After that, Kenshin tears apart the document, throwing it on the ground, and apologizes to Kaoru, stating that he didn't intend to deceive her or hide anything from her. But if possible, he would prefer not to discuss this matter. He asks for permission to leave, but Kaoru asks him to wait for a moment and tells him that she can't revive the sword style and manage the dojo alone. She doesn't care much about others' pasts. Kenshin advises her against it, saying it's her chance to clear her name. He suggests that she should stay here with him, the wandering swordsman, and offers to provide some assistance. Kaoru feels embarrassed by her words and tells him that it's fine if he wants to go, but she wants him, the wandering swordsman, to stay with her. She feels joy and sheds tears of happiness. This story took place in the 11th year of the Meiji period, in the center of Tokyo City. It began with the arrival of the wandering swordsman, Kenshin. Thus ends the first episode. Stay tuned for the next episode titled Samurai Tokyo Mayujin Yahiko.